My 6-year-old daughter said, "The principal makes me sit on his lap during lunch." The words hit me like a punch to the gut. I was helping Sophia with her homework when she mentioned it so casually, like it was normal. My hands clenched into fists automatically. I kept my voice steady even though rage was building in my chest. "Tell me more about that, sweetheart." Sophia explained that Principal Davidson called her to his office during lunch 3 times a week. He said she was special and needed extra attention. He made her sit on his lap while he ate his sandwich and asked her questions about home. The protective father in me wanted to drive to that school immediately and drag Davidson out by his throat, but I forced myself to think clearly. Sophia needed me to handle this right, not lose control. I asked more questions and learned this had been happening for over a month. That night after Sophia went to bed, I started planning. Davidson had made the biggest mistake of his miserable life by touching my daughter. I wasn't going to just report this and hope the system worked. I was going to destroy him completely, methodically, and legally. First, I secretly installed recording apps on Sophia's backpack and jacket. If Davidson was doing this to her, he was probably doing it to other kids too. I needed evidence that would stick. Within a week, I had audio recordings of him calling children to his office and making inappropriate comments. I hired a private investigator to dig into Davidson's background. What we found made my blood boil. He'd been quietly moved between 3 different schools in the past decade. Each time, there had been concerns about his interactions with students, but nothing formal was ever filed. Instead of going to the police first, I went directly to the school board with everything I'd gathered. I demanded an emergency meeting and presented them with recordings, documentation, and a timeline of Davidson's pattern of behavior across multiple schools. I made it clear that if they didn't act immediately, I'd be going public with evidence of their negligence. The board suspended Davidson that day and launched a full investigation, but I wasn't done. I contacted parents from his previous schools and helped them connect the dots about their own children's experiences. Soon, we had a group of 8 families ready to take legal action. While the official investigation was happening, I used my connections in the community to quietly spread word about Davidson. I worked in construction and knew people in every neighborhood. Within 2 weeks, everyone knew what kind of man he really was, even before charges were filed. I also made sure Davidson's wife found out exactly what her husband had been doing. I left copies of the evidence where she'd find them, along with contact information for the other families. She filed for divorce and kicked him out within 48 hours. The criminal investigation moved slowly, but my campaign didn't. I created anonymous social media accounts and started sharing Davidson's photo with warnings about predatory behavior in schools. I made sure his face was associated with the word predator in every online search. When Davidson tried to get a job at a private tutoring center, I made sure they knew exactly who they were considering hiring. When he applied to work at a summer camp, the director got an anonymous package with all the evidence. Every opportunity he tried to pursue around children got shut down. The legal case took 2 years, but Davidson was eventually convicted on multiple counts of inappropriate conduct with minors. He got 3 years in prison, but more importantly, he was permanently banned from working with children and had to register as a sex offender. During the trial, we learned that Davidson had been abusing his position for over 15 years across 5 different schools. The pattern was always the same, targeting quiet, vulnerable children and using his authority to manipulate them into compliance. Sophia went through therapy and came out stronger than ever. She learned that adults who ask children to keep uncomfortable secrets are always wrong, and that speaking up was the bravest thing she could have done. She's proud that her courage helped protect other kids. The school district paid significant settlements to all the families involved and implemented new policies requiring background checks every 2 years, mandatory reporting training, and open-door policies for all administrator interactions with students. Davidson lost everything: his career, his family, his reputation, and his freedom. The man who thought he could prey on innocent children learned that some fathers will go to any length to protect their kids. He picked the wrong family to target. 2 years later, Sophia is thriving in a new school with administrators who understand that children's safety comes first. And Davidson? He's exactly where predators belong, behind bars and forgotten by everyone except the justice system keeping track of his every move.